What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another installment into the extraordinary life of Emon. I'm your host, and we are back for part 2. You know, it's been a day or two for you, but it's only been a couple of seconds for me, so we're not going to mess around. We're going to go ahead and dive right back into it. But before we do, please do me that favor, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, leave me a wonderful comment down below. That all being said, let's go ahead and jump straight back into where we left off. Okay, so we left off with a completed ops plan. We had a couple of units who was watching the house. We located the offender. We got consent to enter the home. We relocated the victim, and we were actually outside setting up to actually go inside of the residence to apprehend the subject and bring this to a close. So at this point, we were literally set up outside. Right before we actually went to go ahead and give the go order, I was advised by a trusted coworker to let the new sergeant know. This is not something that we normally do. It's not something that we require permission to do. There's not anything illegal going on or anything fishy going on. So there's literally no reason to alert the sergeant. There's no reason why I would tell him. However, I didn't want to get on his bad side. I didn't want to get on any kind of list. So I was advised to go ahead and bring him in on the operation. Y'all, this is where things went left. It went horribly wrong. He immediately said no and ordered us not to go into the residence, then started to belittle our operations plan. After all that work that we did, that's what you do? Right off the back, I was upset. I'm gonna be honest, I was upset. I held my tongue. I did good though. The new sergeant said to me on the phone that although the subject that we were going to apprehend is wanted, that he is actually protected against unlawful search and seizure from the police while inside of his residence. What? Like, does that even sound right? Even for my people out there who aren't law enforcement, that does not sound right, because that is not the law. He's talking about the 4th Amendment, and I understand that amendment. People do have the right and are protected from illegal searches and seizures. That is on the book. Everyone should know that. If you're in law enforcement, everyone should know that. Nevertheless, that is not where we are. He is wanted. I have a warrant for his arrest in my possession during this time. None of that matters. I know he's there. I've confirmed where he is. I have the authority to go in there and get him. So when it came to my sergeant, I explained that to him. I said to him, sir, this doesn't apply. The subject is wanted and he is inside of this house. Legally, because I have an arrest warrant, I am authorized to go inside of this residence and apprehend the wanted subject. Additionally, we have consent to go into this house to grab him from the owner of the residence. So we're covered. What is going on here? So my wonderful new sergeant responded with, we did not have legal right to be inside of the residence. I again repeated, the owner gave us consent. She provided us with the access code and told me on a recorded platform that I could go into the residence, that me and my team can apprehend the subject. The sergeant responded that although she gave us the code, that wasn't enough and we didn't have a legal right to be there. In fact, he even went ahead and said we needed a search warrant for the residents to go in there and apprehend the subject. And again, that is not the case. Your arrest warrant is the search warrant. Once I verified where he was and that he was there, I have legal right to go in there and apprehend that subject because he's wanted. I started to lose my cool because I even told the sergeant, no, we don't. That is incorrect information. This arrest warrant allows me to go get him. Keep in mind, guys, I've arrested thousands of people in all types of situations. So I'm kind of like, what is this man talking about? Does he really not know this? This is standard law enforcement. So as he is sitting there talking to me on the phone, it literally clicked. It finally got to where it needed to go. He didn't know what he was talking about. In fact, he didn't understand any of the laws associated with this operation and the legalese associated with it either. So he was literally feeding me BS to try to get me to stop. This is where I draw the line, and this is what I mean by bad policing. If you don't know, just say, I don't No, it's okay. There are people who specialize in things in law enforcement that others do not. I have thousands of arrests in every type of situation. I would know if this was illegal or not because I've been in this situation many times before. I've literally woken people up and taken them to jail. But nevertheless, he continued to feed me this BS. And I said, okay, all right. So again, he ordered me not to go in, to knock on the door, and to set up in the parking lot and just wait for the subject to exit the residence. What came next, honestly, shocked me, to be completely honest. It really did. It shocked me. My new sergeant said, let the gentleman exit the residence. Let him get into his vehicle. Let him drive away and then try to conduct a traffic stop so that I can arrest him that way instead of going into the house and getting him. In my response, I told him absolutely not. I'm not doing that. I'm not letting a wanted subject get inside of his vehicle and attempt to drive away. There's a potential for a high-speed pursuit there. The pros don't outweigh the cons when it comes to that type of operation. I wasn't doing it. I'm not allowing that to happen. So he told me I can do whatever I want, but I can't go in the residence. I said, okay. He hung up the phone and then I broke the news to the guys. Everyone who was on that site was like, what is going on? How can't we do this? It's all legal. Sidebar, I understand if the agency itself doesn't want me to do it, but it is completely legal. And if that's the case, let me know. Tell me the agency doesn't want to do that, doesn't want you to do that. You're ordered not to do that. Okay, not a problem. My legalese is protected, but don't get on here and berate me and tell me my operations plan is garbage, because it's not garbage. So I thought to myself, well, does he think that this is a no-knock warrant situation? Just in case you guys didn't know, law enforcement cannot do no-knock warrants anymore. We can't just run up in the door, boom, break down the door and grab somebody. We can't do that no more. The courts have deemed that that is bad. We can't do that any further. This isn't the case because of the lady giving us consent to go into her residence. It's not a no-knock warrant. The owner knows that we're there. We know who's supposed to be there, and we know who we're gonna apprehend. She gave us the code. We can go in there. So after I break the news to my guys, I went and I contacted the victim. I told her what happened. She was appalled by what happened. I threw him under the bus. I told her his badge number and the number that he could be reached at, but I also told her I have my orders and I'm not gonna be able to do it. So basically, in a nutshell, the op was dead and we were literally stuck outside of the residence doing nothing. So units actually started to go back in service and to go back to doing whatever it is that they were gonna do. Fortunately for me, I am a very smart cookie, and while I was talking to the victim, the girlfriend on the phone, who was appalled at the situation, she was still willing to help. So I have to give her credit where credit is due. She actually came up with this idea on her own. She said to me, how about I just come to the residence and open the door, and when I find him there, I can literally yell for help and you guys can come and arrest him. And I even told her, ma'am, I cannot legally tell you that is a good plan or a bad plan. I can't legally keep you out of your residence. If you choose to come here and you call for help and I just happen to be there, I will definitely step in and my team will be ready to respond and apprehend that wanted subject. So if you want to do that, please let me know now so I can get my team and we could be on standby. She said, yes, I'll be there in like 20 minutes. The girlfriend then got in her car, she drove over there, and then she did exactly that. She opened the door to the residence. She saw that he was there. She screamed very loudly for police. Guess what? I responded. I was downstairs on the first floor. Me and my team, we went up there. As soon as we saw that subject, he tried to run to the back room. We wasn't having any of that. Rumble, 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 grabbed him, put him in an arm bar, threw him down to the ground, put some cuffs on him. It was outstanding. I loved it. It was a perfectly executed operations plan. Unfortunately, we had to go around the sergeant, but in the end, we did get the guy. No one was hurt. We threw some clothes on him. We put him in the back of the cruiser and did eventually take him to jail. That's how that worked. Moving on, in the beginning, during that first video, I said that this incident was associated with bad policing. I said the discussion would be around something that happened to me, and now we bring it full circle. My part when it came to apprehending this subject was golden. I have no issues with what I did, what my team did. I had to finesse and get around a sergeant who did not know his job, who did not know the law and did not care about the citizens. That is where I draw the line. I care about the citizens. I care about my job. I wake up every day, I put my gear on, and I get get out there and I make it happen. I'm a direct problem solver. That is my job. That is my passion, and I make it my business to know the law for that reason. Not only did he not know the law, he tried to feed me, spoon feed me BS, and then disregarded my experience when I challenged it. That is not signs of a good leader. That is not signs of someone that I will be going to in the future regarding anything at all because of what happened. I'm not gonna trust him. And when I was talking to my teammates, they said the same thing. After that, we don't trust that man, which is not a good thing because now we're on two different pages. I'm gonna do things legally and I'm gonna keep myself safe, obviously. But when it comes to him, unless he needs to know, he won't know. That's just gonna be how that's gonna be because he's already shown me he doesn't care. He's not very knowledgeable and he doesn't have the experience to really keep up with me. But that's it. That's how that actually ended. What do you guys think? Let me hear it down below. If you did enjoy this video and the series so far, please do me the favor, like this video and subscribe to the channel for more. This has been another installment into the extraordinary life of Emon. I've been your host and I'll see you on the next one.